Okay, I just read online that the director for God of War Ascension is agreeing to patch the Archimedes Trials in God of War Ascension to make it easier, because I guess a lot of people have complained that it takes 3 hours. Well, I spent approximately that amount of time. I think it might have been 2.5, or it might have been 3-ish. But I got through it. You can see the date. That's the actual date. I'm going to upload this video today too. And actually I didn't need that much time. I'm actually replaying. I'll show you. Chapter 30 is the last chapter. This doesn't give anything away. You can assume that the head of the Furies is going to be the last boss. So, but I'm actually in the middle of playing I went back to chapter 10 and it's auto-saving. So I think I probably spent about 12 something, more than 12 hours to beat it. But basically it sounds like he's listening to people to the critics, and the critics generally rated this game a lot lower than it should have been rated. See here, this is chapter 10, so I think my playtime was maybe 12.5 or something. I didn't look up anything for the puzzles, or a couple puzzles that stumped me for a long time. And that chamber, I guess the one, I mean, you basically just have to adjust based on why you failed. If somebody messes up, they can see why. Well, you can change your strategy. And a lot of in that part, basically you just do square, and then roll cancel, or just one square attack and roll cancel. You should just go ahead and, what I ended up doing was using fire magic, because that's the only magic that you are definitely going to have. If you don't have other magics, it's okay. I ended up having two others. But why would somebody, I guess the counter argument is people are saying, well, if somebody upgrades the weapons incorrectly, then it could be like impossible. But I don't see why somebody would choose to upgrade any of the items instead. If you're upgrading your blades, which should be pretty much, I think, obvious, you're going to want to upgrade these to max your Blades of Chaos. I mean, if anyone's played any of the other God of War games, which have been around for years, I don't know, 2005 or something? 3? 4? 4, I think? You're going to know that you should upgrade these first. Then you already have a spell here. You can use this. You don't have to use any of the specific elements. It's not really a big deal, especially with the serpents, the gorgons, in that first part, which is probably the hardest part. Not getting through it, but just getting through it with a good amount of health. Go ahead and use your magic on the gorgons. Try to hit. You're going to hit multiple ones at a time. They cluster on you, and because they give you blue orbs when you do the mini game on them. Just look, you'll get the mini game. You'll get the hang of it. When to dodge and all that. How to not get stoned. Take out the gorgons are a higher priority than the sirens, because if the gorgons stone you, then you get one hit and you're dead. I didn't experiment with the parrying very much, but you might be able to parry stuff. Well, you can parry the stone stare, but it's difficult. I think with practice maybe I could get it, but not right now. Not consistently. Anyway, then you want to unlock. You have magic here for this one, for this weapon. You can just stick with this weapon for the first part. Then you've got the woman warriors, and you can block all their attacks. And same thing with the harpies that are out there, or whatever those flying things are. You can block all those attacks. If you want to just do square and then hold L1 and just tap square when you're safe, you can do that. Use R1 against the flying things. Try to divide and conquer. Go to the other end of the screen. Let them come to you. The Talos, just dodge, square dodge, or square dodge, because he has some unblockable stuff. Centaur later on, not that hard. And then the Wraiths aren't very hard either. Go ahead and use lightning magic on them because they're purple. So anyway, I think I ended up having one other spell. Lightning is more important. Actually, this is my return back. So this time I decided to just max out, get another spell right off the bat. So this is a I got to unlock the magic for this one. But yeah, you don't have to nerf it. I mean, people were complaining about the game God of War 3. God of War 3 was short. It was a little too short. That's how I felt about it. So if you have a game that's a little bit longer, how is that so bad? Okay, 51% all in the first playthrough. Oh, I might be able to figure it out here. Let's see how much time I spent on it. Oh, well, no, because okay, I don't want to give away anything, actually. But, yeah, there's really no need to nerf it. I will just leave it the way it is. Now, apparently, I guess you said it's already done. It's already decided. But it really wasn't necessary. One of the good things about the game is the challenge of it. You'll see people doing harder stuff. I mean, people are going to beat this game on hard difficulty, and then they're going to handicap themselves too, some of them. You'll see videos on that, I'm sure, because you saw that with God of War 2 and so forth. Maybe like beating the game without upgrading at all. So, just takes time. People just need to stick with it. You know, you need a little bit of luck, I think, to get, when you finally do it, you're going to have to get lucky a couple of times. But that's it. I mean, you just keep plugging away and you'll get it. I think, basically, this game was better than God of War 3 in almost every way. The gameplay is more dynamic, more varied. The weapons are better because you just have, basically, you can just use the blades if you want, pretty much. And the javelin actually helps out a lot in certain situations. The minigames are better with the promptless stuff, where you can just freeform it, except you have to dodge once in a while. The enemies are, in general, more interesting in their design, more out there. Story is good. The villains are a little bit better, which I think is the key lots of times to a game. That's why I think Uncharted 3 the story wasn't as compelling as Uncharted 2, because the villains weren't as good as Uncharted 2. The save feature is better. There's no more save points. I wouldn't be able to argue that God of War Ascension isn't more of an evolution compared to God of War 3 than God of War 2 was over God of War 1. God of War 3 definitely had some issues, and a lot of those issues are removed in this game, or fixed. The parry thing, I don't know. I mean, I still have to get used to it. I'll see if it's actually good or not. If I can actually master it at all, the new parry mechanic. But you don't really need, it's not a huge deal. What else? Yeah, the final battle was better in this than in God of War 3. God of War 3 was kind of weird with the Gaia part. Was kind of not that dramatic with the clones and things. Try not to give away too much, but this was a better ending as far as the final battle goes. It was more dramatic. And what else can I say? I recommend it. I recommend buying it, or I mean, not buying it, playing it. You don't have to buy it. You can rent it. And people talk about playing like role-playing games for 30 hours, and then why they're complaining about being stuck on one part for 3 hours. Well, you can. It's doable. And people can just go to a lower difficulty and try it on easy first. I thought that's what a lot of reviewers did anyway. That's what I heard. Was lots of times they play the game on easier difficulties because they need to get through it faster so they can write their review and whatever. Anyway, that's probably all I can say right now. I'm trying to think of other things. A couple weird glitches, at least for me. It might be the TV though too. I don't know. So the sound going in and out. There were a couple clipping things, issues. The non-linearity is interesting. There's some parts that, for example, the reason why I went back here to chapter 10 is because there was a path I did not take, and then the game kept going, and I wasn't able to check out that path. And it turned out there were some chests there and stuff. I think there were some other situations too where there were some parts I didn't go to that I could have gone to, and I'm going to try to find those others because I missed a feather. I got all the organized, but I missed a feather. And the New Game Plus. That's another advantage of this game over God of War 3. There should have been a New Game Plus in God of War 3. I still can't understand why they didn't do that, because that was a great thing about the first two God of War games, or the God of War 1 and 2. So people can do handicap runs or specific weapon runs. Like a thing I didn't like about God of War 3 was parts where you had to use the cestus or the Nemesis whip. Well, in combat, there were some situations where you had to use a specific weapon, like the cestus. Because one awesome thing about God of War 2 is people would do runs where they would just use one weapon the whole time. It was like a handicap. And they also do no upgrade runs with, and they would be using a skin that also made it more challenging or whatever. And you couldn't do that in God of War 3, really. You could do New Game Plus glitch, but it wasn't the same. Because you'd have all your health and stuff. To start with. But New Game Plus is a good option. Oh, for the multiplayer. I haven't tried the multiplayer. This is a rental. Redbox. And so there's no online pass or whatever. Not really interested in trying the multiplayer. I've seen it on YouTube. I was thinking, first of all, my impression was, why do a competitive mode? It just sounded silly. It's not really what God of War is. Why not try to do a co-op mode? But then I looked at it later, and it's like, and it would be really, there would be a lot of slowdown probably. It's graphically so intense. But here's another option. They could do a mode, they could just assign you a score when you beat the game based on whatever formulas they want to use, and they could show you how to calculate it based on the degree of difficulty level, based on how many times you die, how many whatever, what upgrades you use or don't use, whether you upgrade, whether you don't upgrade, and so forth. Multiplier, you might get a multiplier bonus. Have a score. Scores go on PlayStation Network, and you look at your score and you try to get a really high score. And that could suggest, if you're in the top or near the top, that you are one of the best God of War players on PlayStation Network. So I think they might still be able to do that somehow. I don't know, or maybe the next game. Anyway, that's probably all I can say. I did a video. I also have a recording of a glitch. I'll probably upload that one too. A little glitch I found. Yeah, I think really good game. The other thing is I wanted to see the items later. I'll check them out. I picked up a couple of them, but probably not all. Actually, I know I didn't get all because I probably would get a trophy for that. They would probably tell me if I found them all. Anyway, yeah, so this is pre-patch. And I think people who play the game after the patch, when the nerf comes, are just going to miss out because they're going to say, well, I can't be as proud as, I can't be, that's not as much of an accomplishment as beating the game before the patch, right? So it takes away from them, actually. Anyway, that is all I'm going to say. Thanks for watching.